This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at TomBarnardShow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, welcome to the wake it up.
Are we? Did you?
What's
I think we're good now.
I love torturing him. Isn't it great to torture him?
Top 5 thing to do in my free time.
Just torture AJ.
No, the real torture is all the people on the roads in Minnesota.
Oh my God.
Who decide, and I'm sure they do this on purpose, to get in an auto accident in morning commute rush hour time. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It took me 15 minutes to get onto the highway today.
Ooh.
Like just the on ramp.
Eek. Yeah, driving in Minnesota is a lot different than it is everywhere else because you have people here, like most places, you got people who, let's say you're on a freeway and it's 70 miles an hour, they're going to be driving 85 in most places. And about, I would say half the people here do that, but the other half the people here, oh, it's 70, I better go 60. Why do so many people drive so slow in the state of Minnesota? I never used to notice that. People tell me that and I go, no, that's not true. But the last few years I've been paying attention. There are a lot of people that drive way below the speed limit. Now, why would they do that?
Yeah, I don't know. There's quite a few, and there's quite a few exits and entrances and mergers to highways that you have to slow down, or it's like, oh shoot, I forgot that mine's 3 lanes over.
Oh yeah,
and stuff like that. And so people are just constantly driving below the speed limit.
God, there was a guy, matter of fact, just last night on 394, decided he was going to ride my ass. You should have seen the look on his face when I locked him up. He was terrified. It's like, it's a good thing you were paying attention, asshole. Don't do that. You know, there are some people that you think you're a tough guy. Well, like I said, Sonny Barger said it best. Everybody thinks there's a tough guy until they meet a tough guy.
Yes.
And I've met a lot of tough guys in my life, and I didn't want to mess with them. I won't tell you that. I just looked at the headlines this morning of the news just keeps getting greater and greater. There's no question. There's one story that's nice. Meet the St. Paul writer and artist working to translate American Sign Language into a written medium. So that's a great story, and it's the lead story in the Star Tribune. Okay. So that's nice. She's working to help people. She's got this look on her face. I don't know that I'd want to piss her off. I'll tell you that. She got this look on her face like, what the hell are you looking at? Well, your picture's on my screen. What am I supposed to do, lady? Her name is Adrian Clark. Plans to pursue a PhD with her 2024 Bush Fellowship. Oh, she's got a Bush Fellowship. There you go. I'm going to get back to that in a second. The other stories in the Star Tribune, the lead stories, are preliminary reports of tornadoes in several southern Minnesota communities after storm. Man driving again without license charge. Again, it says, man driving again without license charge in collision that critically injured a Minnetonka teen. Then you got homeless man charged with setting dumpster fires for fun along Lake Street near Uptown. Distressed Bayport home builder files for bankruptcy. Worker-owned Hub Bike Cooperative closing both of its stores. Heavy rain factors in death of man hit while crossing Egan Street after dark. Woman who got out of vehicle stopped in lane of traffic is fatally struck by an SUV. Distressed Bayport home builder files for bankruptcy. I think I already did that one. Iron Man sentenced to 46 years in prison for death of Babbitt couple who took him in. Driver was drunk when he caused crash. Jesus. I mean, those are real headlines in the paper this morning.
Can we go back to the good one about sign language being written down?
Can we back up to the sign language one? I mean, it just goes on and on. And then they, of course, have to throw this in here. Should the Master Gardener program at the U remove master from its name? Why would you do that? If you've mastered something, you're a master of it.
And how do you distinguish him from all the other gardeners? You have to have...
See?
Yeah.
My question would be, upon completion of the Master Gardener program, do you receive a master's degree?
Let's see.
Yes.
Because if you don't, then maybe you do an additional master's course to become the Master Supreme Gardener.
Yes.
Now, this is very important because you guys are a different generation than I am. But in my generation, to master something was a good thing, right? Now, 150, 200 years ago, being a master of some, slave-owned business meant something totally different.
Right.
But,
If you master, like if you have your master's degree,
yes,
the word master is just fine.
you've mastered something. It's a good thing.
If you have 100 slaves, maybe master is not the
Yeah.
greatest word for you to call yourself.
Let's not.
That's the issue, not the actual word itself.
Couldn't agree more.
Is that why they're looking to remove it? Maybe that's just how blind to the situation I am. But I thought it was just because like there was a controversy of like, well, you don't actually get your master's degree, so what you can't be called a master gardener. You just got to call it gardening 101. I didn't realize it was the other controversial term.
Well, 2 Ramsey County commissioners say it's time to change the name of the University of Minnesota Extension program because the word master has painful ties to slavery. It still does, you think? Really? You're a black man in America today. When you hear the word master, do you think of slavery immediately?
No.
I
But
wouldn't
when you
think
go like master and you say it with like a shake in your voice, then yes. But if you just say you have your master's degree, I'm not triggered into like a flashback to the 1800s.
I will say this, and this is, I'm not making it up as I go along. This is absolutely true, that if there is a master of my house, it would be Catherine, because she pays attention to all this and that and takes care of that. And she sleeps at it. Since I, for 37 years, got up at 3:30 in the morning, Catherine and I, during the week at least, and now most weekends too, because we just got used to doing it, Catherine and I very rarely sleep in the same bed, because over those 37 years, she wasn't able to get used to me apparently I make noise in my sleep a lot. I didn't know that I did, but apparently I do.
I can just imagine your sleep talk.
Just sons of bitches.
I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to kill everyone. But I would say, yes, Catherine is a woman, and she is the master of our house. She does all the shopping. She takes care of this. She pays most of the bills. I mean, it's a joint account and all the rest of it. Well, actually, she has her own account and I have my own account, and they cross over. But there's nothing wrong with the word master. What is wrong with you? Now, here's the thing. This is pretty good news. 2 Ramsey County commissioners say it's time to change the name of the University of Minnesota Extension program because the word master has painful ties to slavery, but the effort lacks consensus. At least somebody over at that shithole is using their head. I can't take you people anymore. Everything's wrong. Everything sucks. Man, you're going to have to get rid of man and woe man, and you're going to have to get rid of everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, at this point.
I don't understand. I mean, all of those negative headlines, and then you got to throw in, should we get rid of Master Gardener program at the university? First of all, if you've mastered gardening, why aren't you a master gardener?
Yeah, that's
right.
I mean, if I was in the gardening world and I had the opportunity to do whatever it took to get to the master gardener level, I'm trying to get to the master gardener level.
You know what I do think, and I've thought this since I was a little boy, that people who love to point out things like this have done something wrong in their lives or treated someone like shit. And now they're trying to cover that fact up by saying, oh, well, you call people master. Every time somebody brings up something like this, it's because they did something wrong. In my opinion, as a matter of fact, Mr. Tevin, I think the people who focus heavily on skin color it's as racist as the old racist. I mean, they're not killing anybody, thank God. But if you're giving undue attention to someone because of their skin color, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
People have a very weird obsession with race in this country. And like most days I walk around and I don't go, oh, I'm black.
That's exactly my point.
You don't just forget every once in a while.
Man, there's a lot of people that are obsessed with it. I get it. Like in certain situations, yes, race will have an impact on a day-to-day life, but most days it's up to work and back, and there's no epiphany along the way.
No epiphany at all.
No.
That's it. No, it's just one of those situations where I guarantee you the people who still do that do not live in a neighborhood with any black people. I almost guarantee it, because they're not used to being around black people. So they're uncomfortable with it. So they got to blame it on you instead of themselves.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is. I really do think it's calm down, for Christ's sake. Relax. But yeah, we could go back to all those negative headlines, but the one good headline again that we have, and it's the one good headline, I'm not kidding, is that this woman is the St. Paul writer and artist working to translate American Sign Language into a written medium. So that's wonderful. That's a great story.
Also, a written medium, isn't that just words on paper?
It is. It's exactly.
So what is she working on? I'm very confused. We already have pen and paper.
Okay, let's all hold up our one bit of sign language we all use. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, he gives it the thumbs up.
Sorry.
You candy ass liar.
I didn't get the memo.
I didn't get the memo. All right, we got to move on. We've mastered that segment, so we'll move on now to other. Look, why don't we work on things that are really important instead of the little bullshit that you constantly bring? We'd have to stop using this word. Why don't we work on really making people happier instead of hating one another? What do you say?
That sounds like a lot of work, Tom.
Yep.
Oh, it's going to be a hell of a lot of work because they've been working on, oh my God, they control us by trying to get us to hate one another. That's their control mechanism. I wish people would understand that. Hi, Tom Barnard for Livia Weight Control Centers. Your success story starts with Livia. When you join Livia's doctor-recommended and award-winning nutrition program, you will receive 50% off. And Livia Medical is offering $75 instant savings on GLP-1 medications. Whatever you need to make your weight loss journey a success, it starts with Livia. Certainly did for me. You will get personalized. I said personalized one-on-one support, expert nutrition, medical support. Choose the trusted leaders serving our communities for 15 years. They're doing a lot of good work, and I'll get to that in a second, but I just wanted to point out again that what has it been, about 3 months now, I think, that I've been on the program. I've already lost like 40 some pounds. And I've now, let me ask you two guys this question. Do you think this is a good idea for me? Because I have now converted my walking into running. Do you think I should run or should I continue to walk? What do you think?
I would say walk.
Yeah.
It's better on your joints.
It is better on your joints, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, it's a little more leisurely. You can take in the sights.
Yeah, true.
You're not in a panting, dripping sweat by the time you're done.
It's time for the show. Do that deal.
Yeah.
What do you think if I go for a 1 mile walk, that 3 blocks of it, not all together, I run? So in other words, I'd walk 3 blocks, then I run 1 block. That'd be okay, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Get the heart rate up a little bit anyway.
Yeah. It'd be like interval training.
Interval training, yes. So you would go with interval training? Yeah. What the hell are you laughing about? It is interval training.
I
like it.
You're
I
right.
don't know.
What the hell?
I like it. Interval training.
Why don't you guys master this while I'm doing? Anyway, visit Livia.com. That's LIVEA.com, or call 855-GO-LIVIA. Receive 50% off Livia's nutrition plan. Plus, if you join Livia Medical, you'll get $75 instant savings on their GLP-1 medications. They work like a charm, no question about it. Semaglutide and tirzepatide. Visit Livia.com. And by the way, they got some deals going on now, man, like lots of weeks free when you join. They're doing it. You got to reach out to them. They're doing a lot of good stuff. You visit Livia.com, or you can just call 855-GO-LIVIA and find out all about their, like I said, a lot of free stuff. It's wonderful. Accelerate your success with Livia.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold's an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week. Matter of fact, I talk to Josh every day, as a matter of fact. He understands the market, the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. That's why we had him on the show yesterday, because he knows all about all this stuff. And what did we drop yesterday? Over 1,000 points in the stock market, right?
Yeah, I think 1,100 was what I saw.
1,100, and you looked up today, and how does it look in today?
It wasn't as bad. I think 700.
It's like down another 700.
No, not down another 700. I think they said like that's where it
oh, thank God.
Like,
holy God.
Finished up or averaged out.
Good. So we're not down at 1,100 anymore. We're down 700.
Yeah, from at least what I was able to see. Josh will help us out.
Yes, he will. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice, and I am a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have to bring him on right now. It's been announced this morning that Judd Zulgad is going to be the vice president of the United States if Kamala Harris wins. It's what we've heard anyway.
Oh, my God. No, please, no. I want nothing to do with politics. No.
Well, you
I
and
reject
I have
this.
that in common. You and I have that in common. I literally don't want anything to do with Republicans, with Democrats. Let me stay in the middle, and you people money grub all you want. Good for you. But it was announced, Judd, that Tim Walz is going to be the candidate for vice president of the United States. What qualifies him? Well, he pissed away $19 billion. So if he can spend that much money, he'd probably be pretty good at bringing her some dough, too.
So is this a popular move?
I don't know. I mean, is vice president ever all that popular? Yes,
Yeah,
when
that's a good point.
Kamala Harris became vice president,
Yeah.
that was forced upon him, by the way.
Yep.
Because he didn't want to do it. Joe Biden didn't want to do it. But, we have a black woman. We have what is she? She's Asian or Indian. She's of Indian descent as well, right?
Her parents are Indian and Jamaican.
And Jamaican. That's right. There you go. So, God bless him. Good for you. Happy for you. I was just talking to Tevin about this. I gave up, putting a lot of attention on somebody's skin color when I was about 4 years old. But it's because of where I grew up, I suppose.
Sure.
Why did I ever give a rat's ass what somebody's skin color was?
Right.
And then you find out how horrible things were, and you go, yes, back then, that's a different story. But now, so we'll see. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but Kamala Harris has picked Tim Walz. Well, again, and I think it's because he pisses away money so much that she'll probably take some of it, and then she'll benefit.
This reminds me that, and it's been a long time since I've discussed this, but this reminds me, since this is obviously locally based politician news.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we change the names of our freeways to former, the Mondale? Like instead of 94, like in Chicago, right? You got the politicians.
Yeah,
names.
Right.
Why don't we have like the Mondale, the Humphrey, instead of 94, 394, 494? It's so boring. Can we not name them after something?
Okay, well, let me just bring up one point here.
Yep.
And this is 100% true. If our freeways were named the Humphrey and the Mondale, I wouldn't be allowed to drive on them. So Walter Mondale hated my guts.
What did you do to him?
I criticized him.
Well, yeah.
He was the push. Well, plus the fact his son doing all kinds of weird stuff. And look, they're politicians. Politicians are all a pain in the ass. Every one of you in that business, and it is a business, by the way. I understand some of you get elected, some get appointed. Democrat, Republican, I don't give a shit. These people are the biggest pains in the ass I've ever had in my life. When they want something, boy, Tom, you're the greatest of all time. When there's nothing you can do for them, who are you? I mean, they're disgusting people. I'm sorry. Name one who isn't.
That would assume I pay attention to him.
That's a very.
I don't
good
care.
Point. That's a very good point. So yeah, he's going to be the vice presidential. I guess whatever we'll see who gets elected. Is it really as down the middle as they're saying on the national news, that basically 50-50, half of them are far left and half are far right, and that's where we are?
But the polls don't mean that. This is the
No,
problem.
you're
the
right.
polls are meaningless.
Yep.
Yes.
Because I don't understand in this country, and this is not a political rant at all, as a whole, why do we dismiss young people as if they're not there? Because they are some of the most impactful. They will go vote. If somebody, if they get a call on their cell phone, or they get some type of, hey, we would like to find out, which way are you leaning for the election, they are not going to answer it. They're not going to pick up their phone. Like we're polling people like Tom, like our age bracket.
Yes.
We don't matter. Like, fine, we're there, but like there's all of these young people who matter. And we're always shocked by, oh my God, look what the exit polls. It's, look what it's because young people flip you off if you're at an exit poll. Hey, you want to stop and chat about what you did? No, bye.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I mean, you're totally right. The amount of like calls or the text, like, hey, I'm Rebecca and I'm with America for like, we just want to know, like, no, stop texting me. Like,
But you don't answer it. That's the key thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. I either hit stop so I get off the list, or I just ignore it completely. I don't want to tell you about anything. I'm going to go vote, but I'm not going to tell you who I'm going to vote for.
Yeah. So you're useless to them, but then we all say, well, this is what the polling is saying.
Yeah. Unless there's a survey that's scrolling around on TikTok where people are doing some sort of vote for who, or poll for who they want to vote for, that's the only one that I would pay attention to for the younger generation. Because like you're saying, they're not stopping for an exit poll and filling anything out.
Not particularly any percentage that I'm talking about, but I certainly do believe that at least some of the votes are fake, illegal. They cheat. Both sides always have cheated. I don't know what percentage. Do you think that's true?
Oh God, I have no idea, because the technology now has changed. I have no clue. I have no idea. And then who would game the system from the inside? Like, there's a lot of questions there, because like the last election, I would think that it would naturally have the ability of the incumbent, right, the president, to rig the election more for himself than the outside candidate. But yet the claim was the other way around. So
right.
I don't know. Politics. I care about who leads the country, because that's obviously important. I literally don't care about politics. They bore me to no end. I like sports. It's why I like sports.
That's rigged too, but
it's because, well, some people claim some sports are.
They do.
Yeah. So it's a legit question. I don't know how you would do it now, because of it's so beyond the scope of my ability to comprehend how these things are like done.
Oh, and I will mention this because this is, kind of a sports deal. Not one person lost a medal because of his wiener yesterday. So that's good.
That's another one now. We're so like we're all concerned about that, but then there's like some misreport. Again, you know what? I'm not going to. I just don't. The whole thing, I don't care.
Yeah.
And plus, I'm not watching. And look, the thing about it was like the boxing thing, right? Like boxing, this is terrible. I have one question. In 2024, why are we boxing still?
That's a good point.
We're supposed to be worried about concussions. Well, I've got news for you. If I come to the studio right now, close my fists, and hit AJ in the head repeatedly, he's probably going to have a concussion.
Probably.
But we're worried about like the sexes of the people. It's like, why aren't we talking about boxing?
I hate boxing so much. Boxing to me is so, it's so, like, why? I understand.
And it used to be huge, Age. It used
and I get that it was a massive. I just don't get one. UFC is a little more like, if you're gonna watch a fighting sport, a combat sport, it feels like UFC is the way to go, because there's more going on. There seems to be more action. Not this like, oh, I'm gonna wait him out and just like tap 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 tap, and then Mayweather dances around the ring and it's like, okay, now he made $7 million for that 5 minutes. But to your point, I don't know. I'm not a guy that like gets the joy or the satisfaction of seeing two people just fight each other. I've maybe there's something wrong with me because I know a lot of people do, but I just don't get it. Hockey fights maybe are a little bit of a different thing because there is something fun about that, like 20 seconds of somebody breaking their hand on a helmet. But
Right.
I just don't get boxing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to ask the three of you: have you ever been knocked out?
Nope.
No.
Mm-mm.
You haven't. I have, and it's weird. Have you ever knocked somebody out?
Nope.
Unconscious, knocked out?
Mhm.
No. I've knocked up. I used to get in some.
You knocked
schoolyard
up who?
fights. I said I got in some schoolyard fights and I knocked some people down, but I'd never
Mhm.
knocked them out.
Okay, so you've never knocked anybody out, and you've never been knocked out.
Right.
All three of you. Is that correct?
Correct.
Your AJ's not saying a word. Who'd you knock out?
Well, I'm trying to think. Like you talk about,
Yeah.
are you talking about in a fight, or like I've been knocked
Yeah.
out from like
Oh,
falling,
in a
like
fight.
falling, like snowboarding and stuff like that. But no, not fighting. No.
Because most people don't even know what that. If you were ever knocked out and knocked somebody out, you would never want to do it again. I have been done both. I've knocked someone out and I've been knocked out. And once you've been through that experience, you don't ever want it to happen again. Because the weird thing about being knocked out, and I deserved it, by the way. Let me point that out. After all these years, I deserved that guy knocked me out because I was being a massive pain in the ass. But all of a sudden you're there and you're arguing with a guy and you're squaring off and blah, blah, blah. And then you wake up on the tarmac or whatever. And you go, well, that wasn't good. I mean, it does kind of change your life forever. And then when you do knock somebody out, you get, if you're a decent human being, you get horrified because, well, what if I killed them?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't want to be through that. That's why boxing, to me, I used to love watching Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier and those whole people. And you can't take anything away from Mike Tyson, but boxing has pretty much disappeared from television, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah. And I mean, boxing used to be huge, absolutely huge.
Oh,
And
it
now
was huge.
it's still on. Like, I think ESPN carries a Saturday night fight, but I mean, yeah.
Oh,
But
you know.
what I don't understand about the whole thing is back then, no one was really concerned about concussions. Like, we didn't talk about
No,
it.
they were not. Right.
Football players played concussed. We called it getting your bell rung. But now we're all concerned about it. But yet now we're concerned about what gender is fighting each other potentially. And my point is, I don't care who it is. It's probably, if we're worried about concussions, let's be worried about them. If we're not, let's just say, you know what, we're going to give up on that one. Because it's like everyone else in sports is trying to change their sport to make it safer. And then you still just have boxing drop in. Hey, it's boxing.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? Bang.
I have not.
It is. It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
No. Or my favorite is the UFC when one guy clearly gets knocked out and he's laying there on the ground and then he still gets hit in the face like 4 more times before the ref is able to like pull the guy off.
And that's brutal too.
Just no defense. He's unconscious. Just
Yeah.
pop, pop.
Boom,
And
boom,
the ref's like,
boom.
okay, I think he's had enough.
Yeah.
Thanks, Walter. Didn't need that 10 seconds ago.
So here's what the deal is. We all agree that don't knock anybody out and don't get knocked out, and you'll live a much happier life.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
No question about it. And before you go, because I know you got to get going, but
Yeah.
there's some people at the University of Minnesota that want to drop the word master from the master programs over at the university. That's not what it means. It's not a male thing. Maybe it was 200 years ago because they stole the word.
Yeah.
But it's a ridiculous point. To master something is a good thing.
You know, I heard you guys talking about this before I hopped on, and I heard the start of the discussion, and I'm going to tell you right now, Tom, when you said master, my first thought was not about what you were talking about.
Was there a bait at the end of it?
Yes, there was.
All right, I know you got to go, but
That's what I thought about. I thought, oh wow, yeah, okay. Are we now worried about? Yes, it's hilariously funny.
what would you call that? I mean, instead of masturbate, what it would be? What kind of
Well,
bait?
there's some
would
good
it be?
terms for it.
Whacking a mole.
That's a good one.
He goes, that's a good.
That's
one.
a good one. Like, there's some great terms, but I thought you were talking about like when I thought that's what they were like. Well, it might be an objectionable. I didn't realize it was about the old school term. So
Okay, we'll close with this. North High School. I'm in 10th grade, and the teacher's going around. Okay, it's our first day of school. just say your name. We'll start on the left to go all the way to the back, and then this next row, and then the next row, and then next. So everybody had to introduce themselves. And a good friend of mine claimed his name was Jack Kanofsky.
Oh, that's good.
And she didn't even notice it.
That's good.
Isn't
that's
that
a quality hoax right there.
It was a good time. All right, go take care of business, Buster.
I will. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot. Judd Zulgad, ladies and gentlemen, SKOR. North's got some business on the line. We don't ever get in the way of business, do we?
No. Oh, no. We support business.
Business, baby. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank all of our listeners for your continued support, and to thank you. They're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. What do you think of that action? Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets only $29.98, and take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything's on sale. The brand new kitchen towels. I love their kitchen towels, as a matter of fact. They have the same technology as the bath towels. They actually absorb, and that's why I like them so much. They have dog beds, they have blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146 and use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 or go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Alley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say, we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to announce the fact that not on screen, not on the air, not on anything, but Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation. That number is 952-925-5608. Not really working. Here's Chris Egert.
No, that's not true. I am working. I just don't have a good signal to be able to use the normal protocols. So that's why I'm on the phone.
That's why I'm on the phone. Are you still in bed?
No, I worked this morning because I'm sure you got up and watched the news, right?
Channel 5. I wouldn't. How many years did I do the lead in for you guys? That was about 20 years, wasn't it?
You did it for a long time. Yes,
I did.
It was. You hear your voice, and here we go. That means it's go time.
That it would be go time on Channel 5. Eyewitness news. I'm trying to think. I did it three different times. Why am I not doing it now? What you got some lame-o on there? What do you got?
I am not in charge of that, Tom.
That's a good answer, baby. That's a really good answer.
I'm not in charge of many things, actually, because I'm out at Minnesota Live. We're doing a remote show today, way out. It's next to Dutch Lake, which is in the Mound area, far reaches of western Hennepin County. And we're doing a show about Camp Christmas Tree, which is a lovely little summer camp. But it also happens to be that the Tim Walz story is breaking right now, that he's been selected to be Kamala Harris's vice presidential candidate. And so I'm it's a little weird being out here doing this when we've got this big breaking news happening back at the TV station. So, yeah.
But it is great, the fact that we don't have to put up with him anymore. So that's good.
Well, I mean, you know that he's very divisive, and I think you know, the liberal Democrats are going to love him, but you're going to see the Trump team go after him on his record, and I think there's a lot for them to go after him. You know, and so I mean that rhetoric will start coming up, I would say, almost immediately, and in fact it has already the last couple days, as it's come into more of a clear focus that Walz was, you know, one of the last contenders here.
Right. I mean, and the reason they chose Walz, I mean, they got Minnesota locked up anyway. They don't need him for Minnesota, but he's also very popular in Wisconsin and Michigan. And those two states count a lot more than Minnesota does. Plus he's a kiss ass and he'll do whatever they tell him to do. So that's a big part of it.
Well, I think they actually, I heard some of the reporting this morning that Harris didn't really know Walz all that well.
No, not at all.
But he really kind of went out, and they liked how he handled his business advocating for her. And I would say what you will about Walz. I don't have an opinion, but he knows how to do television.
Oh yeah.
He can go up in front of a crowd. He's from that standpoint, from like a PR standpoint for them, the guy's good at it, you know. It'll be interesting to see when he gets confronted about his record, if and when he gets confronted about his record, things like that, how he handles himself. That I'll be very curious to see how that all plays out.
So who's the lieutenant governor in Minnesota? I don't even know.
Peggy Flanagan.
Peggy Flanagan? Is she a big drinker because of her last name?
I don't think so.
I just was wondering. I don't know Penny Flanagan or Peggy Flanagan.
Peggy Flanagan. Yep.
So how's she?
She's a Native American, part Native American. So
Okay.
and I think she's the first, was the first of many in the different offices that she held prior to this. I think she was in state house or Senate, one of the two. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that. Somebody will probably let me know. But so this will be, you know, but obviously the election, we nothing. This is all a toss up, right?
Right. It is.
Toss up. So, you know, Tim Walz may very well be back in place as the governor in November. So.
Yeah, could be. I don't know. Like I said, the politics around the world right now disgusts me. Not just in America, it's everywhere. It's all it is now is ass kissing for money. That's what it all is now. And
well, when the first thing they were talking about after Biden stepped down was Harris's fundraising.
Yep.
That was like the first talking point. I mean, you're not wrong.
Look, I mean, good for you. You're going to be the lieutenant governor, which basically means, you're going to be vice president, which means you don't really do anything. You stand there and try not to get in the way, right?
Well, but then that puts him in line. You know, let's say Harris wins. You know, that puts him in, you know, puts him in line. Although, but who knows, right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Like I said,
lots of things have to happen, but
it's got nothing to do with me. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I've been both. I was raised a Democrat. Then I tried being a Republican for about 5 years, and that didn't work out either. So now I'm just stuck in the middle, watching them both make asses of themselves. And I make an ass of myself enough. I don't need their help.
That's not true, Tom.
That's not true, Tom. I'm here to tell you. So where are you going to eat lunch today?
I don't think we're actually eating. We're at this summer camp thing. So I think we're going to be, I don't know, talking about riding horses and going down, making crafts and, you know, things you do at summer camp.
No, it's I've never been to summer camp. Matter of fact, I know you got to go in here in a second, but I got to tell you this. My daughter wanted to go to summer camp up in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota one year. Okay.
Yep.
So I drove her up there, dropped her off at summer camp, said, hey, you know, Don't worry about a thing. You'll have a good time, all the rest of it. I drove back. It's about a 3.5 hour drive, something like that, 3 hour drive, something like that.
About that.
Got home. Catherine comes out and goes, go pick her up. She doesn't want to be there. So that day I drove 12 hours, 3 up, 3 back, 3 up, 3 back, just because she wanted to go to summer camp. So,
my mom.
Good dad, Tom. You're a good dad.
Yeah, because my mom would have left me at that
That's what I probably should have done. Teach her a lesson. You'll do what I tell you to do, damn it. Yeah, that'd go over huge in my house. I do want to get your take. Again, I know you're busy out there on the scene, but what do you think of this idea now that a couple of people in Minnesota want to drop the word master from master gardener?
Yeah, I saw that.
It's ridiculous.
I saw that. I mean, it's on trend with they don't use the word master bedroom anymore.
Yeah.
That
why?
Well, listen, it's complicated.
Well, let me put it this way. There's Kristyn Burtt and there's Tom Barnard. Who do you think the master is of that house?
Well, obviously it's Catherine, right?
You got that right, pal. So, and I don't care. You can call her master of her domain as much as you want. She busts her ass to make sure we have a good, home life. So good for her. She is the master of the house. There's no question about it.
Well, you guys have a good rest of your day. Tom, take care of yourself at home. Don't be getting in trouble with her, all right?
I will do my very, very best, and I hopefully won't have to drive 12 hours today. That'd be good.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, pal. Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. We'll be right back in a couple of seconds. Check on the news right after this. When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. Thank you. They're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings 8 to 9:30 or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at TomBarnardShow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the top stories today. Things that are priced too high right now and what's worth paying more for. Do you have any? Is there one thing that you think is worth paying more for?
Ooh,
that's a tough call, isn't it?
Worth paying more for. I don't know. Maybe like a steak every once in a while.
Yeah. Okay.
Like we're going like a food route, but I don't know. Not too much where you're like, oh, you have to spend more money because it makes it so much better.
Yeah, you got a good point there. This is tough because I feel like I'm gravitating more towards like food. Like
similar that's fine. Yeah.
But there's got to be something like you know what? Here's what I'll say. My lease on my car is up here in a couple months, but the past few years, it has been insanely nice to have the heated seat option.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
When I went one step higher, and that's been amazing. And like the kind of remote start stuff, that has been a luxury that I've never had in my life before. So that is, if you haven't experienced that, you got to at least try it once in your life.
Mm-hmm. Good
just
point.
to know. So that I would say it's something like that, like a remote start.
Toilet paper is another.
Oh,
one.
That's
can't have bad toilet
game
paper.
over. Game over.
Go.
Yeah. At least.
How did you know this?
I'm
not kidding you. We just moved, and last night I grabbed a roll of toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
It may as well have been plywood.
Yeah, like it's like
terrible.
Like it's like wax paper. Like I can't now.
Just 80 grit sandpaper. Just
it doesn't even hang on the roller right. It kind of like sticks together. And literally just last night I went through that. It's like, man, let's get back to the Charmin or whatever it is. I don't. You know, what are the big ones? It's Charmin and
Softel or something.
Yeah,
like
I think
that.
Charmin's like the main.
Yeah, that's
one.
yeah,
with the Bears. Yep.
The worst is when you're at like a public restaurant because they never splurge. Why would they? But you pull it out and you look and you're like, am I holding anything in my hand? I can see directly through this.
Oh yeah.
And you just know you're in for a bad time.
That's what this stuff was. You could look right through it.
Just terrible.
Okay, that's not really great. But and the other one thing, and I'm not going to get too deeply into this because it's disgusting.
Hopefully not. I don't want to get too deep in anything.
You got to go to the roll like 3 separate times to make sure all the corners are covered.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you must piss it away at a 3 times faster rate.
You got to be.
I would think so. But I agree with you. Steak is that one thing. Look, I love steak. There's no question about it. But when you get that one steak and you go, oh my God, this is unbelievable.
Yep. Where you can just cut it with a fork and it melts in your mouth. Yeah, that's, yep.
So toilet paper and steak, I would agree with 100%.
Yeah.
There's a new report out on bargain hunting, and it includes a list of things that are priced too high and stuff where the higher prices are worth it. You guys just pointed out toilet paper and steak. I agree. Maybe not surprisingly, the price too high list is topped by gas. Well, gas has dropped down a bit now, hasn't it, though?
I filled up yesterday. It was a little higher than I was expecting. Yeah, I've been kind of used to that $3.19, $3.29, but it was like $3.59 yesterday.
Oh, okay.
But I also went to a different gas station, so I know the price can fluctuate.
The current average price is $3.47 a gallon, which is down 9% from last year, and it was $3.83. Fast food is the runner-up for the too expensive. Fast food. I mean, I remember you used to go in with a couple of bucks to get a burger, some fries, and a Coke, and you were good. Now it's like $15?
Yeah, gone are the days of the dollar menus and McDonald's and things like ridiculous.
That. You're absolutely right about that. No question. Fast food is run up for the too expensive list, followed by meat and fish, automobiles, smartphones, eggs, clothing, personal care items. What, like deodorant? Yeah. Or that would include toilet paper. Personal care items would include toilet paper. Snacks and medicine, but despite those prices, there are things that people are willing to splurge on when asked what's worth paying more. Okay, so you would agree that toilet paper and steak is worth more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Toilet paper, absolutely.
And steak, too. Really good steak is superior. It really is.
Yeah, I mean it's more of a special treat. Like I can't.
Yeah.
Like I would pay for the better toilet paper every time, but the steak, it's like there's got to be a special occasion.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I understand that. It is spendy. There's no question. When asked what's worth paying more for these days, smartphones came in number one. I would disagree with that. Having a phone is a massive pain in the ass to me.
I need it. Like
you do need it
just for like work. I wouldn't be able to do my job properly if I didn't have like a operating smartphone.
No, I understand. People don't care if there are cheaper phones out there. They want to shell out top dollar for the best. Appliances are the next most worth it, followed by computers and laptops, personal care items, TVs, laundry materials, coffee, clothing, shoes, and skincare.
I'm gonna push back on one of those.
Okay.
I think shoes are massively overpriced.
Oh God, are they
massively over? And I will say, I want to preface this. I'm not I believe the term is a sneakerhead. I wear the same handful of shoes of the Vans I have on. I've had them for like 2 or 3 years now, and like they're shoes. If you're spending over $100, I think we need to have a conversation.
Okay,
and I know that's like 60 to 80 is like that sweet spot of like, I can understand. I'm wearing these a lot of the time, but if you're telling me that the shoes you have on, the Jordan Ultra Retro 80 like X's or whatever, you paid $500 for those. One, why are you wearing them? Because that sounds like whatever. Like that sounds bad. But also, you have to wear them because they're shoes. They're like, I don't know. Anything under $100 for shoes is just fine. As soon as you get into that triple digits, I feel like we're crossing into a weird territory.
I understand that completely. Do you? I'm thinking about. Is there any way to find this out? Because I brought this up before, but I went to play in a golf tournament, Spring Hill, one year, and the center for the world champion Detroit basketball team was in the locker next to mine, and he wore size 22 shoes. How much does a pair of size 22 shoes cost? It's got to be a fortune, I would guess, because they have to be individually made, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a weird case because if he is the center for the Detroit Pistons, you said,
yes,
he might be getting those complimentary of the team.
You're probably right. But they have got to be some spendy shoes, man.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, honestly, it was almost because I wear a size 12. So if I put my and I did do this by comparison, both of my feet together, because I just put my shoes next to his, both of them together in line were about 2 inches longer than his one shoe.
Wow.
I mean, that's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, you can go to bigshoes.com.
There's a bigshoes.com.
That branding is great.
Yeah. That doesn't, well, at least for this specific shoe, they don't have a size 22, but you can get a pair of size 18s Adidas running shoe for like $75. So
that's it.
Not too bad. And it looks like they have all types of all types of brands. You name it, they've got it. Bigshoes.com.
And it's only $75. That surprises me.
Yeah, well, this looks like a very just generic Adidas running shoe, but I'm sure they've got more expensive ones as well.
Are you a sneaker guy, Tevin?
Kind of. I used to be a little bit more so when I was in college, but it's a very expensive habit to get into.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm not a sneaker guy, but I also am like,
you put thought into it, but you're not going to go crazy.
Yeah, I'm not like every time I get an extra $300, I need to buy the latest shoe that comes out.
Walking down the street one day just before Christmas, I saw this woman with this really beautiful purse, and I cannot remember the name of the maker of the purse. It's like Bianca, or it's one of those kind of Italian names, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
I said, oh my God, that's a beautiful purse. And she told me the brand of it. I said, my wife would love that. I'd get her that for Christmas. I went online. Now, this was on Palm Beach Island, I got to tell you, which is a very, very wealthy. 55 billionaires live on that island. And a lot of other people. But I mean, that's a lot of billionaires.
Those other people, but we don't care.
Those other people, whatever they work
undesirable. No.
Exactly. So I said, oh God, man, I got to get that. Oh, she said, oh, your wife will love this. It'll be her favorite Christmas gift she's ever gotten. Here's the information. She wrote it down for me. I went online. That purse cost $30,000.
Yeah.
For a purse.
Yep. There's that's a Birkin purses right now are all the rage, and they can get up to, like triple digit $100,000.
$100,000.
I just don't I don't get it. And I understand people have this money to throw around.
Yeah.
But like it's a purse. There's what is the benefit? Is it made from God's hair? Like what are we talking about here? it's just a normal purse. It's a bag.
Yep.
You drop it in mud, and guess what? You just ruined all that money. It doesn't make any sense to me. Just buy something a little nicer. $100,000 for a bag?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yep.
That's insane.
$100,000 for a purse.
Yeah,
I
like
thought 30 was a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at Hermes Birkin 25 lime matte alligator palladium hardware purse. Ugly looking purse, I would say that.
It's an ugly purse.
$82,500.
$82,000.
So,
Where's the picture?
Let me hear.
I gotta
Let's
find
see
it.
if we can get this up here.
Pulled up.
Oh my God. $82,500 for a purse, and you said it's hideous.
And like
Yeah.
I understand if you have money, you can like but there's got to be other ways that you can like flex that you're wealthy, right?
So, can you guys see my screen on your screen now?
He's putting it up there. That's it.
The one on the right there.
That is $82,500.
Yep, and all of these are north of 20,000 for the most part.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Now,
So-
if you're watching this, first off, if you haven't, go to youtube.com, go to the Tom Barnard Show and subscribe, please. But if you're watching this, leave in the comments if if these were $100, would you consider buying one of these bags? Because they don't, to me, look all that fashionable.
Nope.
So the most expensive one they have,
Oh
that
God.
silver one,
Oh God.
$225,000
For a purse.
for a crocodile palladium hardware Himalaya Nickelodeon.
The Nickelodeon crocodile palindrome hardware purse.
Okay, see
Yeah.
this right here? Let me show you something. This is the male version of it. You see that?
Yeah.
That would be my wallet. I believe I got it for free. So there you go. $225,000 for a purse.
So yeah, your wife will love it, Tom.
Oh yes.
She better love that thing with her
Absolutely.
entire heart if I purchase you that bag.
How's that place stay in business? Like,
Right.
who's buying whatever?
They got to be enough people to. Well, I suppose you
yeah.
only have to sell like 4 of them to make $1 million. So yeah.
Yeah. And when you make, probably 10 of them and you get some super elite rich
Yeah,
person to buy
yeah.
them. Yep. There you
So
go.
billionaires' wives are buying those, or they're getting them as gifts.
Yeah, or a lot of times what they'll do is they'll make these super expensive ones and give them to somebody for free to walk down the red carpet, and then they have a lesser line that everyday people can afford, and so they all go buy the cheaper ones, and they sell enough of those to make up the difference.
Oh God, unbelievable! I don't want to go into this story, but I do have to read the headline of this next story. Did Ben Affleck leave J-Lo because of stuff the FBI showed him from the Diddy raid?
That's what I've heard.
Really? That's what
rumors. Yep.
So it ain't looking good.
Well, because J-Lo, did she date Diddy?
Yeah.
She was at least associated with
Yeah,
him.
I know they were close. I don't know if they officially ever like had the
Dated
label
or
of
married or
relation.
anything
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, so that might track.
Well,
honest to God, I just, your wife was hanging out with P. Diddy. Why did you get together with her in the first place? Just the fact that she even knew P. Diddy.
Yeah, well, I think before all of this came out, that people would associate with him. And it's J-Lo, so I mean, she's cute.
God's doing this to me on purpose today. I just saw the next headline that just popped up. Dolce and Gabbana. You guys know Dolce and Gabbana?
I've heard of
I'm
them.
familiar.
Another high tone store for women's, basically.
Yeah, something I probably can't afford, but yeah.
Right, exactly. Dolce and Gabbana is selling perfume for dogs. If I tried to put perfume on our dog, he probably would piss on my leg. There is no way Jude would want to wear perfume.
Yeah, and most of the time, so I have this lavender de-stress, detangle spray for my dog, and if you spray it on them, the fragrance will get in their nose, and it they sneeze a lot and stuff like that. So I'm sure that dogs, most of them would probably hate being sprayed with a perfume.
Once again, I do believe there is a God, just because last night we have the TV is on the second floor, right? And there's a little, circular stairway that goes up there. It's a nice place to watch TV. It's, it's wonderful. But because it's an open staircase down to the first floor, Jude went downstairs and started going, I started making this noise like that. And he'd go, oh. And he kept doing it for 10 minutes. And I said, what the hell is he doing? And she goes, I don't know what he's doing, whatever. Turns out she didn't give him his Cosequin pill on time. So he's down there bitching to get his Cosequin pill. Now, how good can that taste?
For those of us who do know, like me, but for Tevin, who probably doesn't know what a Cosequin pill is, can you explain that for us?
I think it's just, when your dog gets older, they need to start taking Cosequin for, I don't even know.
Oh, it's like a health thing. Okay.
It's a health thing.
Gotcha.
Yes, it's a health thing all the way.
I didn't know if it was like a treat or something.
But well, it is to him.
Oh, okay.
That's a very good point.
All right.
He doesn't know it's good for him. I get to eat something, so
Right.
I'm very happy about that.
He thinks it's a treat.
This dog, are all dogs that nuts about eating?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
My dog Daisy is like 4 o'clock is when
when
she eats.
Yeah.
If people start getting home a little sooner, she's like, oh, it must be getting time. And it's like 2:30. She's roaming around like, are you going to feed me yet? No. All right. I hate you.
Yeah.
I'm going over here.
Yep. Or if I get home late at night after like DJing or something, I'll usually give my dog like a chew treat, like a bone or something. And if I don't, he'll stand in front of the cupboard that has all of his treats in there, and he just waits. And then he'll start barking or something, and I'll be like, "Oh, fine, I will give you a treat," because he's just so conditioned to it now.
I know we got to move on, but I did have a friend that had a dog that would piss and moan for treats, and then if you gave him the wrong treat, he'd chew it like twice and then spit it out.
What? There is no wrong treat.
I know. That's what I thought.
Any treat's a treat.
Well, this dog would spit out the treat. That's not what I was looking for. Like, what? You're a dog, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. And the dog perfume is only $100. I might actually get this for my dog.
It's $100.
$100.
That's a new pair of shoes for me.
Wait a minute. Oh, Tevin's dog is here. I can tell by the perfume. We will take a break. Be right back. Josh Arnold is going to be pissed off because Shapiro, the Jew, didn't get picked as the vice president. So he's going to be all pissed off about that. And we're going to find out how mad next. I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with the announcement they don't make Jews like Shapiro anymore. Josh Arnold.
True.
What the hell, Josh? Your guy, nice Jewish boy, steps up. They pass him over for some schmuck.
Well, there are people in Minnesota who would say that he is not some schmuck, but as I've said on the Family Hour last week, they don't want Jews in office.
I love working with you. You and I are a perfect fit to work together because we'll say shit that no one else will say.
We're just old guys. And we'll say some things that people might be thinking.
That's
But,
exactly it. That's exactly right.
You know, I'm sure that the people in Minnesota are very, very excited that Governor Walz has been tapped to be the vice president. He, of course, is the creator of the meme "weird" to apply to Trump and Vance, and that has been picked up by numerous commentators on CNN, MSNBC, and written about in the New York Times and the Washington Post. All of those outlets, I'm sure, are very much pro-Trump.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they are.
Okay.
You know, yeah, you're right.
Go on.
No, I was going to say very quickly that Walz wasn't even picked because he's the governor of Minnesota. He was picked because he's also very popular in Wisconsin and Michigan.
Well, I don't know whether he's popular in Wisconsin and Michigan, but Minnesota is close to Wisconsin and Michigan, and he could be seen as helping to get the Democratic turnout in those states. Additionally, by having Josh Shapiro on the ticket from Pennsylvania, that would, if that was the case, I think the belief would be that Michigan voters, particularly around Detroit area, would not turn out for the Democrats, and the Democrats could lose the votes coming from Michigan. So I think that's part of the political calculus.
I'm sure it is. Now, I asked Tevin this morning, how's the stock market looking? Because I said, is it down again? And he said, no, it's at 700. I mean,
It's at 700. No, the futures were up pretty good.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Japan's stock market recovered and was up close to 10% after yesterday's 13% sell-off. So Japan has recovered a good bit of the sell-off that was sparked by the Bank of Japan raising interest rates unexpectedly, and that strengthened the yen, we'll say, against the dollar. And there are a large number of investors, primarily professional investors, who make currency bets between the value of the dollar versus the value of the yen. That is known as the quote unquote carry trade. They do this with large amounts of leverage because currency trades are, normally fairly moves. But if you add leverage or margin, loan borrowing, as it were, to the mix, you can enhance your returns many times over. But if that trade goes against you, you've got to sell very quickly, and sell other assets to meet that to meet those margin calls. Now, add that to the concerns about a slowing U.S. economy or potential recession, and everything sold off yesterday. And when everything sells off, again, there's a lot of investors, small and large, who use margin to enhance their returns. Things go down, the margin clerks pick up the phone and call you and say, cover the margin. So you've got to sell a lot of stuff and sell it very quickly. This whole deal will take a little bit of time to completely unwind. But then you had calls yesterday. Where's the Fed? The Fed needs to cut interest rates 50 basis points, 75 basis points right away. They need to step in to save the system. Well, I don't think the system is broken. I do think, and I've expressed this before, the Fed has been behind the curve for a long time. But at the same time, I had said they're going to maintain this year, their higher for longer mantra, and say, well, we're data dependent. Well, okay, if you're data dependent, how about look at other data, including corporate earnings reports, because they're going to give you a better feel for what's going on in the economy than a lot of the government survey data. Because the corporate earnings reports, and particularly coming from consumer-related stocks, whether it's favorite Amazon or Walmart or Target or Costco or Coca-Cola or General Mills or Nike, or I could go on from there, have been showing that consumers' spending habits are and have been slowing. Consumers have been pinched too much by higher prices. So there are an awful lot of retailers that are starting to lose, we'll say, pricing power. So that has, those things have leveled off, and those companies have been reporting lower earnings and projecting both lower sales and then henceforth lower earnings in the future. So there it is. Inflation is and has been brought under control, and the Fed can or has the ability to reduce their quantitative tightening at the very least. But that has not happened, and the economy is still, we'll say, chugging along, but not growing very quickly. Now, I could also add in that there are some issues that are still out there that are going to put a damper on economic growth, namely tariffs. And for everybody that thinks that Trump is a tariff man like me, and I do think that is a negative on the economy, and has been proven so. It definitely does not help consumers. The current administration has not only kept all of Trump's tariffs, but they've increased them.
Right.
So, and I don't think that policy is necessarily going to change as a result of the election. So that to me, is a big trade issue, and I think that to me is a negative. And then additionally, here we'll throw this out. We have the current Department of Justice won a case against Google, saying that Google is a monopolist.
Now, admittedly, this case started during the Trump administration 4 years ago. It'll be ongoing because Google will appeal the verdict that says they're a monopolist because they control or have, I don't know whether they have control, but they have 95% of the search market. So, that's definitely a monopoly because they have so much.
Mm-hmm.
They have so much, and the government says, well, they've paid companies to be the default search engine, such as paying favorite Apple about $20 billion a year to be the default search engine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Google's been paying Apple, well, it's not that kind of money, but paying Apple a significant amount of money dating back, I do believe, to 2004 or 2005, when nobody even heard of Google as a search engine. And Google was able to get its place as a default search engine on smartphones when they came out. Nobody thought much of this initially, but other search engines, particularly Bing of Microsoft, lost out to Google, and of course they complained. The government says, well, we need more competition, and we're going to go after Google on that. Of course, the government is also going after Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, and now NVIDIA and OpenAI as monopolists in artificial intelligence. And I'm like, really? Really? You have the lead in this area? In the case of NVIDIA, you've developed chips that are faster and better than anybody else, and they're all in the same race. So now we're going to punish you and say you're the monopolist because you're big, you're successful, and you've blown away the competition. Really?
Well, there it is right there.
Okay. Therefore, Noah Lyles, you're number one in the 200 meter. You're now the fastest man in the world. You won the gold medal in the 100. You're dominant. You've won too many races. Sorry. We're going to have to cut off your toes just so everybody else can compete with you.
All right. On Friday, when you come in, I do want to talk to you. We don't have time to do it now, but I want to talk to you about what Google did to Donald Trump. He disappeared from their site for what, about a week?
Yep.
That we'll talk about that on Friday. That was a big move, but okay. Mention it to your better half. I'll mention it to the master of my domain, Catherine. We got to go see Sammy this week some night.
Happy to do that. I would almost say Friday or Saturday night. Let me know.
I'll check with the master of my domain, and I'll get back to you, Pally.
Okay.
Thanks a
Sounds
lot.
good.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. We'll be back. Kristyn Burtt, also the master of this domain, on the closeout right after this.
I've been tracking the weather in Minnesota for a long time. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Ken Barlow. And in the morning, I've got to be right because my forecast affects your family's entire day. And in the evening, you can count on my friend, Ren.
That's right, Ken. I'm 5 Eyewitness News evening meteorologist Ren Claire. And as a Minnesotan, I know our weather can be tricky. Throughout the day and into the night, I've got you covered with an accurate forecast to help keep your family safe and ready for any weather.
And don't forget, no matter how things change or what time of day, you'll always get our forecast first at the start of every newscast on 5 Eyewitness News. Start your day with me, Ken Barlow.
And wrap up your day with me, Ren Claire.
Because 5 Eyewitness News is always tracking our weather. So you're always alerted first. It's why 5 Eyewitness News is Minnesota's weather authority.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast. And I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Kristyn Burtt. Entertainment news is brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Miss Burtt, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Say, have you recovered from the gymnastic woes that we suffered as a nation in the Olympics yet? We had 2 people fall off the beam, correct?
Yeah. I mean, listen, overall, it was a huge win for the gymnastics team and Team USA. The beam is always that final because it comes at the end of like a long week of competition. The beam finals are always a hot mess, and it's whoever is left standing is the one who wins the medal. It's usually never who was expected to win is the one who wins the gold medal every single time.
And did you see which I thought was a super cool picture of, I believe it was Simone and was it Jordan bowing to the Brazil lady that got
Rebecca Andrade? Yes. Well, I was watching it live at 3:30 in the morning, so I did catch that live. And yeah, I was texting with your girlfriend too, anyway, so at that hour. So, but it's so funny. I just think it showed the sportsmanship of the gymnastics overall. Everybody really kind of embracing a new era. It's been a really tough run for 30 years in the sport of gymnastics. So to see it finally kind of like flip a switch to something positive, this was perfect.
I understand. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So I haven't watched much of the Olympics. I've never been an Olympic guy much,
Do you know you're one of the few, to be honest?
Oh, no, I understand.
Like not watching anything. The numbers, not only have the numbers for Paris topped what was watched in Tokyo, but they've also combined, if you take Beijing, which was the Winter Olympics in 2022, and Tokyo together, they already have more views.
Oh, no, I understand.
Paris alone. And we still have another week to go. So like those numbers are astronomical. In Japan, 82% of the country watched the opening ceremony.
Well, they got nothing to do.
It's not just the US, but it's kind of amazing that, and I kind of like wondering, besides you have the obvious like time zone issues in the US where it favors us in order to watch, but Japan, it doesn't favor them. And you sit there and you think, is it just like the iconic background of Paris, like the Eiffel Tower is there and you've got the volleyball court, they did the opening ceremony down the Seine, so people are floating, and it worked sort of, and it worked in other areas it didn't work, but at the same time I think we all recognize Paris, and maybe that's what they did really well.
All right, let me bring something up to you though. They have mentioned at least 5 times that I've heard that the Seine has got a lot of E. coli bacteria in it. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues too. Like you can't sit there and say, "Oh, this was a perfect Olympics." Of course, yeah, you've got the E. coli issues with the triathlon, and athletes have gotten sick. You have the cardboard beds where people, and this is supposed to be like environmentally friendly. Well, what's happening? All of the delegations are ordering mattress toppers, so you're adding more consumerism onto something. And I do think, like, I sit there and I think about, like, they're like, "Well, we're saving on the beds. We wouldn't know what to do with them," but I'm like, there have to be, things to use it for, shelters, whether it's for the unhoused or whether it's for women's shelters. I feel like beds can be repurposed after this. Universities always need new bedding. I don't know. So, that, and I heard the food is pretty lousy, which is crazy because when you go to France, the food is usually pretty delicious, but I think doing it in mass quantities and you have to do, you have to appeal to all cultures and religions. The food has been rather bland, according to the athletes. And not enough food, too.
The only thing I've heard about is some chocolate muffin from some Danish swimmer or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
He's hoarding them every single day. It's crazy.
Yeah, and watching him eat it on TikTok, and people are waiting until after they finish competing. Then they're like, "That chocolate muffin." And I've heard it's good. It's not the best muffin, but probably compared to what they've been eating, which seems to be bland pasta and boiled chicken. I'm sure it tastes really good.
But you're right. France is supposed to have some of the best food in the world.
Yeah.
100%.
And you would think there was some sort of marketability if you were a caterer and you're like, you know what? Yeah, we're part of the brand that helps build the Olympics, and this can relate to or lead to more sales. It shouldn't be hard to get a quality caterer in.
Yeah, Great Britain brought in their own chef. They got to a point and they're like, our athletes can't eat this. They're not getting enough protein. They're not getting enough. Some teams need to carb load before, and there's not enough seasoning. And your food does need seasoning. There's nothing worse than under seasoned food. I'm someone that wants spices and salt, and there's nothing worse when you're just like, this tastes like absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I've only been to France once, and it was not in Paris. It was right next to, I don't even remember where the hell we were, but I crossed into France for about 10 minutes. And, Catherine's been there 1,000 times. You
need to romance your lady in France. Come on.
One of the great stories I've ever heard, Catherine and her friend went to France and ate, what's the name of the restaurant in the Eiffel Tower again? Or it's by the, I don't know. There's
one at the top, though.
At the top. Yeah. She was having dinner up there. And for some reason, her New York buddy, her friend, decided to say the following. Do you have red and white wine? I mean, you're in France, so they do have a little wine in France. Said, do you have red and white wine? Yes, ma'am. Yes, we do. We have both. Well, I'd like to have the red wine. Is it any good? Catherine said there was a long pause, and the server said, no, ma'am. It's very, very bad.
And then he walked away and was like, stupid American.
Exactly right. Yeah, let's criticize wine in France, shall we? What a great idea.
This is why we get a bad reputation overseas. Come on, people.
That's true. Oh, I can go on and on about the nanny family and oh God, it's wonderful. No question about it. But yeah, I gotta maybe catch some of the Olympics. I haven't watched much of it. I've seen some of it, but not much of it at all. Because of you, I had to watch some guy's schwanz knock down a pole about 10 times yesterday. So thanks for that.
It was funny though. It's funny.
It is funny. That is true. There's no getting around.
To be like, why did you lose the gold medal?
I saw
ding dong.
Well, let me tell you.
I saw some Swedish guy set a new world record, and immediately I saw somebody on the internet swing that as. So what's downstairs there.
They said you're like a baby carrot or something like that. Yeah. So you're like the size of a baby carrot. It was so funny. My friend had sent that to me, that particular tweet, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just watched that actual jump because his girlfriend had filmed it from her spot in the stands. And then a moment later, and I'm like, oh, well, she can verify. Maybe she can help her boyfriend out. So people, like, it's huge, massive.
Well, the guys, has he gotten any new dates or anything? Have we heard?
I don't know, but I have a feeling I don't know if he's on a dating app, but he's going to have no short of dates. I promise you.
He's actually going to be cast on the next season of The Bachelor.
Ooh.
So yeah, that'll
Wait,
be
actually?
no.
Oh,
He just
Or
made-
Love Island.
Yeah,
Love
Love
Island, I
Island,
feel like,
yeah.
is the hot dating show to go on.
There's a new bombshell in the villa.
That probably will happen, though. I would guess if he's a single man, he probably will appear on those shows.
I did hear about a Paraguayan swimmer
Yes.
who was evicted from the Olympic Village due to inappropriate or creating an inappropriate environment. Do you know anything about that, Kristyn?
Yeah, I was reading that and I was like, what did she do that was creating like inappropriate? And it seems like she was just too hot to handle and was distracting people in the village.
Yeah.
Was she just trying
so,
to like bone everybody? Is that what you're
no,
saying?
so she is a swimmer from Texas. She was in the like 100-meter butterfly, got 6th place, like
Okay.
didn't swim very well. And
Didn't
just,
even
like,
make it to the finals. If I don't
No.
think she made out of semis.
No, and it was like the first day. And so then she's now done competing, but she's like, she went to like Disney World in Paris. Essentially, she's on this like massive vacation and taking all these photos, and it's essentially just become a distraction. And so they were like, yeah, if you're not here to watch the games and you're not competing,
It was
we're
a
gonna need you to
vacation
go.
for her.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, she's basically an influencer who just happens
Mm-hmm.
to have a decent talent for swimming to make it to the Olympics. So,
Okay.
but they do kick you out of the Olympic Village once your events are over which makes sense because if you're done and you're like, let me just party, for the athletes who still do have events, you don't want to listen to a bunch of drunk people at midnight in the Olympic Village. So you're welcome to stay and enjoy Paris on your own dime, but they do kick you out. So it makes sense.
They do kick you out.
They do kick you 48 hours after your event.
Oh, well, I suppose that
And then
does-
you can come back if you want to. If you want to stay for the closing ceremony, you can come back to the village for like that last night.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I got to get over to Paris one of these days. Though I've never been there.
You need to do it. I was like, and hold your lady's hand and like take a romantic, like, float in a boat down the Seine.
I'm sure. Try to get E. coli.
Yeah.
You're not swimming in it. Are you going to do a triathlon while you're there?
Doing a triathlon. That's exactly what I'm
Stay
doing.
away from the poop water.
One thing I did notice, and I don't know if you ever, I didn't even know what side of Paris I was on. I think it was the west side, but whatever. Not Paris, I mean France. And I was about, and I'm, I used to be 6'1". I'm like 5'11" now. I've lost 2 inches of height, which is real fair in life. I was about 6 inches taller than everyone in that village. So other parts of France that have a lot of shorter people, or I suppose the average height there is about 5'6", something like that.
That's pretty short for a guy.
I would think so. I don't know. But I mean, they're whatever, but it was kind of interesting because in Minnesota, Minnesotans tend to be very tall people in
I feel
general.
like Americans are tall in general.
Yeah,
compared to
that's
other
probably
countries.
true. Yeah, you're probably right about that.
I mean, I'm short, but so everyone's tall to me, but
Here we go. She's complaining about being 5'9" again. 5'3". I thought you were giving me
5'3".
a finger there for a second.
no, I'm giving you 3 fingers. I'm like 5'3". 5'3" on a good day. Yeah. No, I come from a lot of short ladies in my
Oh, well,
family. So
nothing wrong with that. Well, my sister Vicky's 5 feet tall exactly.
she's
She's
petite.
5 feet. Yeah, she's 5 feet tall. It's kind of weird though, because my brothers average around 5'9". I think they're like
My
5'8",
brother's
5'9".
6'2".
Yeah, so there you go. And but I was like, honestly, like 4 or 5 inches taller than everybody in my family, up to a foot taller than people in my family. I don't know how that works out. I have no clue.
Genetics are a funny thing, I mean, my parents are both brunettes and they had 2 redheads. So
But out of my uncles that were very tall, 2 of them were murdered. So, being tall is not that great a thing. No, you're
staying alive is a great thing.
It's a really good thing. What else you got, sister?
I am looking forward to this. Now, this is only in the pre-production stage, but they are going to do a movie about that Hulk Hogan Gawker case, and Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are producing it with Gus Van Sant directing. This is going to be Oscar bait type of movie. It's called Killing Gawker. For people who don't remember, there was a 2016 case where Hulk Hogan sued Gawker, which had published his, of course, sex tape. You guys remember he engaged in an affair with what was it? Bubba the Love Sponge's wife.
Yes.
Bubba the Love Sponge. Oh my God, I haven't heard that name in a long.
Yes.
Be on with Howard Stern.
And remember that this particular lawsuit Hulk Hogan didn't pay for it himself. It was Peter Thiel who did it. He
Oh.
wanted revenge against Gawker because they outed him years before. So this was his revenge. And he wound up winning, I think, $140 million.
140 million?
$140 million.
Oh my God.
Whether
Well,
that was
luckily
all
we-
paid out, because Gawker shut down immediately. So I don't know if he ever, got that money. But
Yeah. I understand. I got to tell you, I know you got to go, but I want to tell you very quickly that Catherine and I go on Facebook. She goes on X. She's KB the First on X. Did you know that?
yes, I follow her.
God, here we go. But I just wanted to thank, because I think I brought it up while you were on, all these movies they're recommending. Because when Catherine and I first got together, and then raising a family, all that stuff, we didn't get to see a lot of movies. We just didn't. The movies that have been recommended to us have been phenomenal. Last night we watched when the Devil Thinks You're Dead, or what's it called? It's Philip Seymour Hoffman. It's really, really good. Ethan Hawke is in it. Hopefully you're in heaven for an hour before the devil knows you're dead. I think it's Before the Devil Knows You're Dead.
Was it a 2007 crime thriller?
Yes.
Yeah,
really
Before the
good.
Devil Knows You're Dead.
Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. That movie, have you ever seen it?
Mm-mm.
It's phenomenal. Really well acted across the board. The only problem is it really does a beautiful job of presenting families without a lot of money, like ghetto families. It nails how those people get along. It made me uncomfortable, as a matter of fact. It's like, ooh, how do they know about this stuff? Dad's not. Yeah. So I just wanted to thank, while you were on, because you brought these movies up to me and all that stuff. Kath and I have seen 4 movies so far recommended by our listeners, either on, KB the First or on, my Tom Barnard deal on Facebook. Every one of them has been terrific. People are really good with the movies. Are you aware of that? That people in general really do know what a good movie is?
Oh, absolutely. And it's why when we have bad movies in the movie theater, nobody's going. I think that's, that's the thing.
No question about it. But so thank you we talked about that, and we just keep moving forward. And by the way, this came up in the Star Tribune newspaper this morning. You remember that when you lived here?
Mm-hmm.
We have decided that we don't want the word master to be taken out of the English language, because what am I going to call Catherine if they take that away? You know what I mean? The master of our domain, Catherine Brandt, KB the First.
Why can't she be the queen?
Well, she can be the queen too. Oh, she is the queen. Don't get me wrong.
You want to be the queen.
Yeah, but nothing wrong with being a master of your domain either.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like queen has better connotations, like royalty.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, she is the queen too.
And it's elegant, and it's like, I don't know, beautiful outfit, jewels, fancy things.
So that's just Catherine anyway. So there you go. All right, Pally, we will talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good. See you all tomorrow.
Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. I would like to thank Andy for not playing any cat noises during the show today.
Meow.
Meow. And apparently that happens when their cat goes and eats. It alerts them that the cat is eating.
He was explaining it like it's like a Ring doorbell.
Yeah, exactly.
Because every time somebody drives by or whatever, you can get the notification like, hey, somebody passed by your house, and it's got like a ding dong type of thing. So but yeah, it's a cat Ring doorbell. Meow.
Yeah, because yesterday we're like, is there a cat in here?
It sounded super real.
Yeah, it really did. No question. All right, pals. We will talk to you guys tomorrow. The family show is up in about 10 minutes.